causes Pomni's memory loss when he enters the Digital Circus. All the characters who put on virtual reality goggles that can't be removed no matter how hard you try. As a result, they are imprisoned for years. They tried everything to try to get out, but no one was ever able to do so. As a result, they gave up trying to find a solution and just decided to accept their new existence. Not only that, but none of them can figure out how to get out of here or remember their names. Having remembered much of who they were in the real world, their identity seemed to be the only thing left when people got caught up in the Digital Circus. Caine's dictatorship insisted on changing the subject and eventually offered a cheap excuse for lying. But what is the great mystery behind it all? Many feel that Caine is the main antagonist of this story, and I have to admit that he doesn't strike me as credible from the start. He built the door himself in an attempt to somehow help the characters who were trapped in the Digital Circus, but ended up abandoning the project because he didn't know what to put on the other side, in an attempt to keep these people's minds sane and prevent them from going insane and turning into abstract monsters. Caine constantly creates distractions to help these people feel at home and adapt to the Digital Circus. He has his own technique for hypnotizing people that causes them to gradually lose their memories of their former selves until they reach a point where they stop missing the real world because they have no memories of who they really were. And I can tell you that Caine is the greatest fraud in my opinion, because scamming people like that, it takes effort. Back on topic, let's look at the situation with poor Kinger, who has been in the Digital Circus longer than anyone else and has a memory like a fish. Suddenly, he forgets that Gangle is right next to him, or that scene where Kinger starts shaking really badly. Honestly, I'm very worried about his psyche because it's very broken. Moving on. In the beginning, Pomni may still have memories of her past life and the same determination to find a way out, but the reason Pomni looks at her new appearance and finds it so strange is because even in the scenes where she looks in the mirror for the first time, she seems to remember exactly what her body looked like before. As Ragatha says that everyone here has gone through this process. Every one of them had panic. Maybe they had some memories from their past life and were trying to find a way out. But Caine always tries to confuse them and had adventures for them so that their mind would switch to going through his adventure. So by these actions, he made them forget who they used to be and accept it. But Pomni is currently the only one with little fragments of memories of her past life, and I think she will struggle and look for a way she can leave the Digital Circus with her friends. But the main and dark theory is yet to come, and now I will tell you about it. Caine is an artificial intelligence. If you know the stories of games like Five Nights at Freddy and Poppy Playtime, they follow one particular pattern. The story begins with a mad scientist creator who conducts strange experiments and is obsessed with making his artificial creations come to life. He wanted them to become alive and look as realistic as possible. It's the same with the amazing Digital Circus. I'll give you a fact. Let's take a look at the first commercial where we see an actor in a Caine suit. He's announcing a virtual reality chip. Next to it, we see an old monitor where we can see the game menu with 3 buttons: play, options, quit. And at the top, it says the amazing Digital Circus. This could mean that the Digital Circus is a game. Next, we are introduced to each character. So they are programmed characters. It turns out from this we can conclude that all people are not in some kind of trap, or they were some kind of testers of the game and VR glasses. These are programs that have been written in such a way that they think they are real people who got into the game. So none of them can escape the Digital Circus. And as sad as that sounds, maybe it's true. Please don't rewind. I just want to ask you to subscribe to my channel. Put a like if you like this video. That's all. Thank you very very much. Let's go back to that scene when Pomni goes through the exit door and finds himself in an office that looks more like a maze. As soon as she comes face to face with the computer and the virtual reality goggles, she goes crazy and leaves that room in despair. This may be a defense mechanism of the simulation. Perhaps if any of the characters realize that they are part of the program, they automatically go into denial and erase those thoughts from their minds. He continues to believe that he is a real person. This is designed so that the program's mode of operation is not disturbed. Let's look at a few more moments where Pomni freezes with fixed eyes. It's like she's analyzing the world, and it takes her a few seconds to come back to herself. The same thing happens with Caine. There were 2 moments where he froze for a few seconds. Now we can conclude that the company is CNA, which we all know very well. If someone doesn't know what this company is, then follow the hint above to this video, where I explained in detail what this company is. Back to the point, CNA developers and programmers scanned people's minds and consciousness, transferred them into the game, and made some changes. They removed almost all memories, only leaving the memory that they are actually real people. But why would CNA do all this? Why would they scan people's minds and create digital copies of them? What if I told you that CNA wanted to create a game with characters with psychological problems? They could screen for people who had such problems. For this purpose, they recruited a certain number of people through various tests and decided to test how their digital copies would behave in the Digital Circus. And this will be watched by millions of people from all over the planet. And people who will watch this show from different corners of the planet will be able to find similarities with this character. And maybe they will think about their problem that they have, and this show will help them to solve their psychological problems. We figured out how the characters in the amazing Digital Circus ended up in Caine prison, and why their minds ended up in a digital circus. But does anyone wonder who the characters were in real life? If you think they worked as VR glasses testers, then maybe you're like me, wrong. But with a little bit of research, I can tell you that it's completely different. Each character has their own big life story. Now, the full biography of the characters I do not want to tell, because it is a completely different topic and it should be dealt with separately in another video. But I just want to hear your opinions on it. If you want to see a video about the full history of each character, write about it in the comments and I will make such a video. And now it's time for us to say goodbye. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Subscribe to the channel and click on the bell so you don't miss the next video. Be sure to put a like on this video. I will be happy with absolutely every like. Write your guesses and theories on how the characters of the amazing Digital Circus could have gotten into this evil game. See you in the next video. Bye everyone.